Dear student, today we are going to discuss about the reflexivity. In our previous deliberations, we have already discussed about the objectivity. In social sciences and particularly in sociology, when we talk about the objectivity, we feel that this is the major obstacle in the way of systematic and scientific studies, because when we try to study the social phenomena or social events, so certainly directly or indirectly we have some attachment with the social events or social phenomena. Hence, it is quite difficult for us to keep objectivity. But when we talk about the natural sciences, the scientists have no emotional attachment directly or indirectly with the natural phenomena. Hence, it is quite easy for natural scientists to keep objectivity when they try to study the natural phenomena. But when we talk about the sociology, if the researcher is quite honest and well aware about the subject, then it is not difficult for a researcher to keep objectivity in social sciences also. Certain things we keep in our mind, then and then only we can keep objectivity. Today we talk about the reflexivity, just opposite to objectivity. In the purest sense, the idea of objectivity holds that a true or independent reality exists outside any investigation or observation. The task of the researcher in this model is to uncover this reality without uncontaminated or uncontaminating it. This assumption that a researcher can observe or uncover events without influencing them has been increasingly rejected, especially in the social sciences, but also in the natural sciences. In qualitative research, it is a realistic objective for the researcher to remain unbiased, that is, to be impartial to the result of research, acknowledge their preconception, and work in the most impartial and value free manner possible. Objectivity refers to the unbiased, neutral viewpoint of the researcher in conducting social science research. This means that the researcher tries to minimize personal biases and subjective viewpoint in order to obtain results that are as accurate and neutral as possible. If the social scientist is quite well aware or honest about the subject or events, then and then only they maintain the objectivity in social sciences. Objectivity is considered essential in social science research as it helps eliminate the influence of personal biases and provides a clear understanding of the data collected. Unbiased collection of data is helpful to keep objectivity in social sciences. While on other hand, when we talk about the reflexivity, on the other hand refers to the process of reflecting on the researcher's own experiences, biases and belief that may influence their research. It involves an awareness of how the researcher's own experiences, beliefs and attitudes shape the research process, from the selection of research question to the interpretation of results. Reflexivity is important in social science research because it allows the researcher to consider his or her own biases and viewpoints, leading to more accurate and valid interpretation of the data. Directly influence the subject with the eyes of researcher. Reflexivity in social research is the process by which the researcher reflects on the fact, that is data collection and interpretation process. जैसे हम बात करते हैं, if I tell my mother I am going to market, what I should purchase, that is vegetable, my mother says that bring gobi wobi, आलू वालू, टमाटर वमाटर, मिर्ची विर्ची, अदरक वदरक. These are known as the glossing practices. जैसे आलू समझ में आया, बट व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय वालू. गोभी समझ में आया, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय वो भी. मिर्ची विर्ची. हम अपने सामान्य ज्ञान के आधार पर उसको समझकर उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन, टू एनालाइज द डेटा in a manner, in a systematic manner, this is the reflection of our ideas or belief, is known as reflexivity. Reflexivity in social science or research is the process by which the researcher reflects on the fact collection and interpretation data or interpretation process. This word has also been used with different meaning in different context. That is, this word is used in different meanings. In general, it means to reflect, and specifically as part of social research, reflexivity is the process by which the researcher reflects on the data collection and interpretation process. Many social scientists discussed about the reflexivity, particularly Goldner, Garfinkel, Talcott Parsons, Anthony Giddens and Harold Garfinkel also discussed this reflexivity when he discussed about the ethnomethodology in social sciences, have used this concept in their works. Besides Giddens, Talcott Parsons and Garfinkel, Bourdieu also discuss about the reflexivity. When we talk about the reflexivity, reflexivity generally refers to the examinations of one's own belief, judgment and practices during the research process, and how these may have influenced the research. If positionality refers to what we know and believe, then reflexivity is about what we do with this knowledge. This is important part of research, that is the reflexivity. When we talk about the objectivity, objectivity is important part of research. Similarly, reflexivity is also a part of research to analyze the collected data. Two important uses of this term can be identified. It is used to reflect the general characteristics of modern social life. Secondly, it is used specifically to refer to certain features of social scientists' attempt to explain social life. The term reflexivity was coined by Elvin Goldner, who wanted a sociological examination of sociology. A very important and detailed argument for so-called reflective sociology is found in Goldner's work, The Coming Crisis of Western Sociology. This book is published in 1970. In this book, he goes beyond the methodological and theoretical context of ethnography, or we can say ethnomethodology, and proposes reflective sociology. Sociology was seen as a discipline that produced objective knowledge of social reality that was not agreed upon. Reflective sociology requires us to examine what we are doing, how we think, how we feel, and what biases our attitudes, belief, feelings have about particular things in social reality. If we reflect on our thoughts, if we understand this idea of having doubts, then it helps us to achieve, get rid of our preconceptions about other people's behavior. दूसरे लोग क्या सोचते हैं, उससे पहले हम उसको एनालाइज करें, The purpose of reflective sociology is not to remove one's impact on others, but to understand one's impact, which requires the individual to be aware of oneself as both knowers and agent of change. Reflective sociology holds that there is an inevitable tendency for any social system to reduce the autonomy of the sociologist in at least two ways. He is to be transformed either into an ideology of the status quo and an advocate of its policies, or into a technician acting on behalf of its interest. In this definition, two things have been emphasized. One is the desire for impartial study and the other is own competence. This means that the researcher should have a strong desire to see and express the events in their true form. Aptitude means studying by adopting a neutral approach, that is, being completely free from one's own thought, feeling, values, rituals, preconceptions, etc. and maintaining a scientific approach. जब हम अध्ययन करते हैं तो पुराने आधार पर भी, that is on historical aspect, we can understand the fact and then we analyze. According to Level J. Carr, objectivity means that the world of phenomena is a reality independent of any personal beliefs, hopes or fear, all of which we can understand not through insights and imagination but through actual observation. This is known as objectivity. It is clear from this definition that the study of the happening world is possible only through impartial observation, in which the researcher's own thoughts, values, belief, hopes, desires and imaginations have no importance. According to Fairchild, objectivity means the ability by which the researcher can keep himself separate from the situation of which he himself is a part and to be able to observe various facts in their natural form on the basis of logic, impartially and free from prejudices rather than any kind of commitment or emotions. This is the base of objectivity. But when we talk about the reflexivity, it is just opposite to objectivity. Garfinkel discussed about the reflexivity when Garfinkel discussed about the ethnometrology. Ethnometrology, one of the important contributions of Garfinkel in sociology. So, when we talk about the reflexivity through ethnometrology, the contribution of Garfinkel, one of the most important things in studying sociology is how you look at things. Garfinkel's aims in the book Studies of Ethnometrology was to understand the methods used by social scientists. Sociologists have been interested in order and its interpretation. Although Garfinkel is not concerned with order reflexivity, social life appears organized and regular and social action is systematic and patterned. गारफिंकल ने जब एथनोमेथोडोलॉजी की बात की तो गारफिंकल ने कहा एथनो मीन्स मैन, मेथोडोलॉजी मेथड ऑफ स्टडी, मनुष्य के बारे में अध्ययन करना, अपने सोच के आधार पर, अपने विचारों के आधार पर, अपने आइडिया के आधार पर जब उसको समझना, और समझने के लिए कई बार हम कॉमन सेंस, वी यूज कॉमन सेंस टू एनालाइज द फैक्ट्स, टू अंडरस्टैंड द क्लासिकल आइडियोलॉजी ऑफ एथनोमेथोडोलॉजी. It is also necessary to explain this term. This word is made up of ethno and methodology. The word ethno is related to individuals, that is man, and the word methodology is related to method. Just as the words ethnomedicine and ethnobotany indicates a specific branch of knowledge, in the same way ethnomethodology is not a methodological way of sociological analysis, but it is a way by which ordinary people derive meaning through an observation in contextual situations. Sociologists have believed that there is an objective reality in the social system. According to ethnomethodology, the social world is a natural world that contains a common stock of knowledge and that predates any individual. One of the basic concepts of ethnomethodology is the concept of reflexivity, which Garfinkel has tried to clarify in a systematic manner. Garfinkel says that a person sees events at one level through observation. Many types of incidents keep happening in front of a person. A person organizes the dimensions of those events through the process of thought and provides meaning by coordinating the aspect of many events through the process of thinking. Through the process of thinking, the events observed in reality are sequenced and organized and their logical description is presented. Garfinkel believes that reflexivity has been uninteresting for traditional sociology, and sociologists have been considering the quality of reflexivity as neutrality inherent in the process of study. For the ethnomethodological approach, reflexivity is important from the point of view of interpretation because it reflects the individual's intellectual, it is related to qualities and interest. Under this, a person uses his mental ability systematically and is able to understand and interpret various events by mentally reconstructing them. With the help of one's own ideas, they try to interpret the data in a systematic manner. Sociology presents the second level through reflexivity, under which he expresses the meaning of various events at the level of abstraction in such a way that along with description they also have the quality of understanding and interpretation. Reflexivity is a quality of a person in which subjectivity acquires natural importance. Ethnomethodology accepts the quality of thinking ability even among the common people. From one point of view, every person is a sociologist because he gives meaning to all the events with which he is associated and to which orientation is necessary in the context of his action. When we go to buy something from a shop, it is not possible to buy something without giving it meaning. The price is weighed, the quality of the item is seen, and one's budget is also considered. The common man gives meaning to every situation of interaction and action, be it the issue of admission to a school or the marriage of a girl. From this point of view, every person is a sociologist at one level, but the sociologist understands the situation, events and relationships of other people from their point of view and present them at the second level in such a way that through it appropriate and systematic meaning can be provided at a different level. Garfinkel, when discussed about the ethnomethodology and the important concept related with ethnomethodology is reflexivity, he tries to understand the reflexivity with the help of certain terms. Presentation in sociology has the following dimensions. These are the elements which is important to discuss about the reflexivity. Others basis. The process of providing meaning to the behavior and situations of other people. We try to understand the ideas of other people, behavior of the other people. Second is higher level of abstraction. The sociologists provide meaning at the second level of abstraction. Specific understanding terminology. To provide uniformity, specificity and systematic meaning, sociologist uses different terminology which gives subjective and definite understanding. And then generalization. On the basis of specific general activities, the sociologists have also make some small or large level generalizations so that human behavior can be understood on a deeper and broader level. And demystification of myths and hidden structures. Through this approach, an attempt is made to guide reality by highlighting and removing those dimensions of events which are veiled or those forms of myths which are accepted by people as reality. This approach has special importance in clarifying the meaning of indirect situation. In this context, this line from Berger's book, Invitation to Sociology, the first lesson of sociology is that things are not as they seem, clarifies the above situation. कई बार जैसी दिखती है वैसी होती नहीं, इसलिए हम अपने आइडियाज से, अपने बिलीफ से, अपने विचारों से उसको एनालाइज करने की कोशिश करते हैं. जैसे एक एग्जांपल हम ले सकते हैं कि हमारे दो मित्र, एक मित्र जो है वो अगर कहता है कि मैं 4 बजे आऊँगा और जब पास्ट प्रैक्टिस में वो हमेशा टाइम के साथ जुड़ा रहता है, तो हमारे दिमाग में एक ऐसी आइडिया डेवलप हो जाती है कि व्हेन ही सेज दैट आई एम कमिंग एट 4 o'clock, इट मीन्स डेफिनेटली ही विल रीच एट 4 o'clock. और दूसरा व्यक्ति जो कहता है कि मैं 4 बजे आऊँगा और पास्ट प्रैक्टिस हमको बताती है कि वो 4 की जगह 8 बजे आएगा और यही उसकी आदत है, दिस इज़ द हैबिट ऑफ दैट पर्सन. तो हमारे दिमाग में उसके बारे में आइडिया डेवलप हो गया कि यह व्यक्ति 4 बजे तो नहीं आएगा. दिस टाइप ऑफ सिचुएशन डेवलप इन आवर माइंड एंड ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ these ideas we analyze the data in a systematic manner. This is known as reflexivity. The process of empathy. The reflexivity of sociology is not subjective but other oriented, which it tries to know the situation of another person through empathy. When a person's reflectivity is subjective, then personal orientation or desire for a particular type of success comes naturally to him. Through this approach, the sociologist remains free from the constraints that the common man experiences in his daily life. Therefore, the quality of reflexivity presents a different meaning for the sociologist than the reflexivity of the common man. And then sequence of the study, that is sequential systematization. On the basis of reflexivity, ethnomethodology presents the sequence of events in such a way that their meaning do not remain merely individual references, and they present such a meaning at the intellectual level on the basis of which the strength of understanding and interpretation increases. Most of our interactions are about maintaining reality. Such verbs are reflective. The center of these activities is the person himself. These activities include religious rituals, ceremonies, etc. People believe that this world has been created by God and that God controls and runs our day-to-day lives. The purpose of any ritual or worship follows this belief. The purpose of any ritual or worship is based on the belief that God should be kept happy. This type of activity, which is linked to rituals, is a reflective inner action. It also happens that many times the expected results are not achieved by performing ritualistic activities, yet people do not allow any kind of crack in their faith. For example, people believe that yajnas should be performed for adequate rainfall. Lord Indra is pleased with the yajna and there is sufficient rainfall. This belief is reflective. Beyond this, when there is no rain, even after performing a yajna, there is no reduction in the faith of its people. They argue that the yajna was not performed with full devotion and was not performed properly. This is why it did not rain. In every situation, reflective interaction and existence remains in the public mind. Such behavior maintains trust. It strengthens him, and all this continues to happen even when this belief is refuted by reality. If we do a conceptual analysis of ethnomethodology, it will become clear that most of human interactions are reflective. Generally, people analyze others' expressions, words, information, etc., which convey reality through reflective methods. Such evidence is also found which is not in accordance with the reality, yet people feel that these incidents cannot be wrong. The reflective concept consistently tells us that people maintain a particular reality consistently through their interactions. The study of ethnometrology focuses more on the question under which circumstances and context reflective actions are seen. This is the method through which we interpret the data, that is on the basis of researchers' own belief, own biases, own ideas in a systematic manner is known as reflexivity. Many scholars, many sociologists contributed in the field of reflexive approach. We can summarize and we can say that we have understood that reflexivity is the process by which the researcher considers the data collection and interpretation process, and the term has different meaning in different contexts. To understand this, we have mentioned three important theorists of reflexivity: Goldner, Garfinkel and Bourdieu. In Garfinkel's discussion of ethnographic or ethnometrologic, reflexivity refers to the close interdependence between surface appearances, that is document and accounts, and the corresponding underlying reality, a distinction that is characteristics of the documentary method of interpretation. The sense of the former is elaborated on the basis of knowledge of the latter, while at the same time the sentiments of the latter is elaborated from what is known about the former. On the basis of this, we can analyze in a systematic manner, and the data is reflective through our minds, through our ideas and through our system. This is known as reflexivity. Through this reflexivity, we can try to understand the social phenomena and analyze the data in a systematic manner. When we say about reflexivity, reflexivity typically involves examining your own judgment, practices and belief system. During the data collection process, the goal of being reflective is to identify any personal belief that may have incidentally affected the research. Many times we discuss that biases are the hurdles, but when we talk about the reflexivity, biases and one's belief is not the obstacle. If we interpret the data in our own ideas, then we can say systematically we analyze, systematically we interpret the data, known as reflexivity. The fact of someone being able to examine their own feelings, reactions and motives. जैसे हम बात करते हैं, मैं यह कहूँ कि आज मौसम बहुत अच्छा है या आज 2 फरवरी है, इसका अलग अलग व्यक्ति अलग अलग अर्थ लगाएंगे अपने माइंड से, अपने आइडिया से. जब मैं कहता हूँ आज 2 फरवरी, इट मीन्स आइदर 2 फरवरी इज माई बर्थडे और माई मैरिज एनिवर्सरी. कोई ये कहेगा कि 2 फरवरी को कोई ये घटना घटी होगी, कोई ये कहेगा कि 2 फरवरी की बात इस आधार पर आप कह रहे हैं. और जब मैं यह कहूँ कि आज मौसम बहुत अच्छा है, क्लाइमेट इज मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल, तो इसका मतलब कि हम कहीं पिकनिक में जाएं. या मैं यह कहूँ कि आज मौसम बहुत अच्छा है, इसका मतलब आज घर में कुछ स्पेशल डिशेस तैयार करें. तो हर एक व्यक्ति ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ वन ओन्स बिलीफ, वन ओन आइडियाज इंटरप्रेट द डेटा इन द मैनर नोन एज रिफ्लेक्टिविटी. गारफिंकल, हेरोल्ड गारफिंकल ने जब एथनोमेथोडोलॉजी की बात की तो उसके दिमाग में तक हम कॉमन सेंस, व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द कॉमन सेंस इज रेयर सेंस. इवन देन वी हैव सर्टेन कॉमन सेंसेस. जब हम कॉमन सेंस की बात करते हैं तो कॉमन सेंस कैसे डेवलप होता है? थ्रू ऑब्जर्वेशंस, थ्रू स्टडी अवेलेबल लिटरेचर्स, उससे हमारा कॉमन सेंस डेवलप होता है और उस कॉमन सेंस के आधार पर ही हम उस घटना को दैट सोशल इवेंट्स को इंटरप्रेट करते हैं। दिस इज़ नोन एज मैथोडोलॉजी। तो जब हम बात करते हैं एथनोमेथोडोलॉजी, ये कोई मैथोडोलॉजी नहीं है, कोई तरीका नहीं है स्टडी करने का। हम कॉमन सेंस से उसको इंटरप्रेट करें। ट्राई टू इंटरप्रेट द डेटा विथ आवर कॉमन सेंस, विथ आवर ओन बिलीफ is known as reflexivity. Reflexivity is just opposite to objectivity. When we talk about the objectivity, it means we keep certain things on our mind, then and then only we can maintain objectivity in social sciences. But on the other hand, reflexivity generally refers to one's own belief, जजमेंट्स एंड प्रैक्टिसेस ड्यूरिंग द रिसर्च प्रोसेस। हम अपने विचारों से, अपनी भावनाओं से उसको एनालाइज करते हैं, एंड हाउ दीज मे हैव इन्फ्लुएंस्ड द रिसर्च। इफ पोजिशनलिटी रेफर्स टू व्हाट वी नो एंड बिलीव, देन रिफ्लेक्सिविटी इज अबाउट व्हाट वी डू विद दिस नॉलेज। हमारे पास जो ज्ञान है, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ आवर नॉलेज वी हैव सर्टेन बिलीव्स, वी हैव सर्टेन आइडियाज, and on the basis of the ideas, belief or knowledge, we interpret the data in a particular situation, that is known as reflexivity.